Hey, spooky friends, and welcome to The Twisted Twins, hosted by Britt.
And Kay.
And my God, did we take a little bit of a hiatus there?
Yeah.
But you know what? New year, new bangs.
New place.
Same old spooky shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But a lot more of it. We are
Yes.
coming in today with an episode about one of Brit's worst nightmares. And that would be doppelgangers.
Doppelgangers, which I think it's kind of funny because it's Twisted Twins now, and we're doing doppelgangers. Hello, Chip.
Doppelgangers. Oh, it's a chipperoo.
We're doing doppelgangers, Chip.
That is interesting. So, okay, but the thing is, are doppelgangers your twin?
Well, I'll
Or
get into
just
that.
a twisted twin?
Yeah, could be. Could be that one. Okie dokie. So, doppelgangers. We'll get into why I think that they are so terrifying a little bit later in this episode. But first, I want to go ahead and jump in with a brief history. BT Dubs, let me know if you hear the dogs because they're in like right outside this room. And
Okay.
I can sense a wrestle match happening.
The air is starting to change.
Yeah, I can feel it in the air. All right.
I'll let you know.
So let's jump into doppelgangers. What the fuck does that word even mean? I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Um,
double person?
okay.
Doppel,
Okay.
because it's German, yeah?
I'm getting to it.
Oh, I was just asking.
Okay.
Sorry. I was doppelganger. I've been around too many accents at work lately, so I don't know what that was. Not German.
So it kind of we're picking these topics for the next few episodes, and we both were like, we have to do doppelgangers because we had a conversation recently. Like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later on in this episode. And I was like, bitch, we have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because our new name is Twisted Twins because Kayla and I are Irish twins, blood sisters, and this is all about that other twin, the evil twin. And let's get into it. So which
But
one's
do
the
they
evil
have
one?
to be? Yeah. Do they have to be evil?
Hold on, the dogs.
You know what's interesting? I do hear
the
dogs.
Yeah. Hold on.
The thing about doppelgangers, before you get into the whole history, it's because it does go back so long, the belief of doppelgangers. But what freaks me out is like the mirror realm.
Oh, girl.
You know what I mean?
Oh, girl.
That's what freaks me out. I know that was an intense sound. I apologize. But that's where, when I'm like thinking of doppelganger, I think of like,
oh yeah,
like, and I know that like the idea is that there's like at least 7 people in the world that look like you. You know, isn't that like statistically speaking is what it's supposed to be?
I don't know.
Like, imagine if you just like walking off the subway and like, oh, excuse me, and it's your face.
No, imagine going and looking at yourself in the mirror and then you see like a scary smile.
Yeah, no. Full body chills. I have a mirror right next to looking at me. Yeah,
seriously,
literally.
terrifying. I don't think so. Not for me. Not for me. Okay, let me give you this brief history real quick.
Okay.
And I'll give you all like the ins and outs. mostly ins and outs. Let's not get crazy. The expert over here. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Every detail ever written about doppelgangers.
Yeah, I got it.
She's gonna give you out.
Alrighty. So doppelgangers themselves, and just kind of like the idea of them, are very ancient and a widespread belief across many, many cultures for really thousands of years. Doppelganger, the term itself is German, and it is kind of like a basis in German folklore. And it's described as almost a wraith or a spiritual apparition that is a replica or a double of a person. And the legend says when someone comes into contact with one's shadow self, this typically means either bad luck, an omen, or imminent death. So
it always
you in danger,
like,
girl.
Yeah, literally. You've got 3 options: bad, really bad, death.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like right across the board. So like I said, sorry, I just got a full shot of my handy dandy notebook. For thousands of years, doppelgangers have been characters across many different cultures, like I said. Other ways to refer to a doppelganger, I have a couple different little nickety names. So there's evil twin, there's shadow self, there is gothic double or just double.
That's like high school you.
Right.
Coming back to ruin your life again.
Yeah. Hey, the dark hair's back. Bangs are back.
Oh my gosh. There. You cut your own bangs.
I did.
Again.
Such a high school thing. I was like obsessed with cutting bangs in high school, and I did it not only for me, for our friends, for random fucking girls that were like, "Oh, hey, you cut bangs?"
Oh yeah, that was such a weird summer, by the way.
It was. Our last summer. Yeah, I'm in an ABBA mood out of nowhere.
Were we singing that earlier when we were setting up?
Yes.
Oh, I got
wild.
Like hair in my mouth.
Wild. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, quick, after that little tangent, evil twin, shadow self, gothic double or double, whichever, alter ego, double goer, which is like the literal.
I'm sorry, what?
The double goer, which is literally the German interpretation of the word doppelganger.
Or the interpretation of their own word?
Like translation. The translation. Gosh, I'm silly.
Oh, we use their term.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Doppelganger is their term.
Yeah.
Double goer,
which I think that you would just love, is mirror self.
Yes, literally.
Literally.
And my thing is your mirror self coming through.
Oh yeah.
It like grabs me here.
I know.
Something's showing me, but like literally like
it's your doppelganger.
Literally. That's what freaks me out. Like it's one thing if they're on the other side of the mirror and they make a different movement and you're like, oh my gosh, like yes, that's scary. But it's another thing if they're like they start doing like the little girl from The Ring.
I know.
Samara,
bitch. Get it right, or she gonna come.
No, don't even. Why did I even bring it up? But yeah, so that's scary.
I'm gonna put my glasses on for this next part because I keep losing my place. What? Alrighty, we are back in, locked and loaded. Okay. So, one of the sites and sources that I was looking at is a website called ancient-origins.net, which I thought it actually had a lot of information and it was really interesting. I also used the Britannica encyclopedia. So those were my two main sources for this, but anyway. ADHD brain, y'all. All right. So that particular site discusses how an encounter with a doppelganger could potentially provide a warning. It could provide advice or plant ideas into the original person's mind that very easily could cause fear and seem malicious, like a la evil twin vibes, if you catch my drift. So, and in that, I'm kind of like, okay, my own interpretation is like, okay, so are they bad? Or if they're like, you need to stop doing this because of X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe they have the potential of doing that, but I think the idea of a doppelganger is that it is your evil persona. So
Okay.
they're not like, when they're doing their whispering, they're not like, don't get out of the taxi cab and walk down the alley. They're like, I don't know what my obsession with New York is today, but they're like, go rob that bank. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so the lore really holds firm that you do not communicate or even try to reach out to connect with or communicate with your doppelganger. So, with really like the basics of what the term doppelganger means, I'm going to go ahead and dive into more or less the mythology over like the human existence timeline. And I'm going to start with one that I think you'll find interesting again, Kay, is Narcissus from Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you know about Narcissus, Kay?
Nothing.
He was like, he fell in love with his own reflection.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And like
and
starved
then died.
to death. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the term narcissist comes from.
Yes.
Yes.
So Narcissus.
I did know that.
In ancient Egyptian times, they kind of referred to doppelgangers as, and I hope I'm saying this right, as Kas, Ka, Kas. And so it kind of is plays a big part, a big role in one of their ancient myths about, and the myth is actually called, the Greek princess. And it speaks about a Ka, or spiritual double of the princess, that was sent to mislead the Paris of Troy to officially end the Trojan War. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like that's like
cool.
That's like a doppelganger shadow self doing something for good, which I thought was like, here I am like trying to say doppelgangers are misunderstood. But anyway.
Well, I think because maybe if they're in their own reality or like their own thing, then they're not evil. It's not because they're just living their life. Yeah. But it's when you see them, that's when it's like, when you see your own doppelganger, that's when it's like death.
The no. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In Norse folklore, they call it actually Vardgar. This is going to be really hard to pronounce. Vardogger. I believe that's how you say it. Vardogger. And it's derived from Norse folklore, and it's a task doer or entity with the same overall demeanor as a person. So, like, they literally have your same scent the same way you look, like your eyes, your footsteps, the way you move, the way you talk, everything, almost like a skinwalker.
That was like a song. The way you move, the way you talk. Yeah, that is freaky.
And so basically, what they do is that they would arrive to a place or a location before the actual person does, and like people would witness it, and then they'd be like, I just saw you here. Like, you were just here. And you're like, nah, fam. Like, I'm just rolled up in my little 2 feet, you know?
Yeah, roll what?
And
What
my little.
time period?
I was imagining like a little, like cart or something. Just rolled up in my cart. What you talking? So that is another one. And this last one, which I think is pretty cool, and I kind of like it, is Native American folklore. They kind of refer to them as dualistic twins. And legend has it, Native American legend discuss a dualistic existence between two worlds. Now, the upper world, or our world, and the underworld, where like literally the same things, same people, same everything, except whatever is happening in one world, the complete opposite is happening in another. So it's kind of like say,
like the upside down, but in every way opposite?
Like, for example, you're walking through a meadow and you get shot by a hunter. In the other world, necessarily, you don't get shot by the hunter shoots. No, I'm just kidding.
Hunter shoots too. The hunter shoots too.
So this one is kind of interesting. I mean, they all are, but I really like this thought. So in Native American folklore, they call it almost like dualistic twins. So legend has it, legend discusses more or less a dualistic existence between two worlds. Now, you have the upper world, which is like our world right now, and the underworld, where the same things, like same homes, same trees, same people, same animals, everything is like very much mirrored, except whatever is happening in one world, the opposite is happening in another. So it could be like in the upper world, everything is working out, you have great luck, but your version in the underworld, everything is negative, horrible things are happening, or vice versa. So I kind of liked that, like yin and yang type existence,
I mean, yeah, if you're the person on the good side of it.
Right. That's true. Those were just a couple of my mythology examples. I liked all of them. That's why I talked about them. No, but I don't know. I find it so fascinating. And we say this a lot, like, how can so many different civilizations and so many different places, like across the globe,
all of them see the same stuff, experience the same things. There's no way that, like, humans, and I mean this in the most realistic way ever, humans are not that smart to be like, oh, you know what? I'm thinking of this, and then, like, maybe that's not the right term to use, but they're not, we're just Humans are just not that creative. You know what? Fuck humans. I'm a doppelganger.
Whoa!
Ah! But I just don't see that being realistic.
It's crazy to me that so many legends or myths have like trickled across so many different civilizations that never spoke to each other, never had any contact. And I know we say that a lot about a lot of different topics that we discuss, but I find it fascinating. And I'm like, there is no way, say like the ancient Egyptians and the Native Americans, there's no way that they could have communicated that info, you know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I don't know, that blows me away. But those are my mythology, kind of like traditional human folklore. Now I'm going to kind of go into literary examples. So, right off the bat, we have The Devil's Elixir by E.T.A. Hoffmann, and this is from 1815. We have William Wilson by Edgar Allan Poe. Who's that? 1839. The Double by Fyodor Dostoevsky, 1846. And The Shadow by Hans Christian Andersen. So those were just a couple that really hone into the doppelganger lore, which I thought was cool. Oof. Now, I'm going to discuss something that is pretty wild. It is a first-hand encounter with a doppelganger. Buckle up for safety. So, first and foremost, my favorite president. Do you have a favorite president, Kay?
Reagan.
Any others?
JFK. Abraham Lincoln.
Boom.
Abe Lincoln. Oh my gosh. Oh, I have heard this.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Hello. So, the topic is doppelgangers. All right, yeah. I'm ready. Yeah, this one's wild. Okay, go.
Yes.
Okay, go.
When it was the first time, I mean, it felt familiar, but when I read it, I was like, holy cow. Alrighty, so let me take my glasses off for this one because I can see it. Okay. My favorite president, Abraham Lincoln. Loved that guy. Gone too soon. Experienced a doppelganger omen. So, soon after Lincoln was elected president in 1860, he arrived home to the White House and he walked into his bedroom and looked into a mirror and reportedly saw himself doubled. Reportedly, Lincoln said about this experience, quote, nearly at full length, the image in the mirror, nearly at full length, but my face had two separate and two distinct images. So he literally saw like two of him within the mirror. Mirror people, mirror people. One reflection appeared normal, and the second was, quote, nearly 5 times paler than the first. He had told his wife Mary about it, and she was adamant that it was a bad omen. Like, she had known a thing or two and was like, this is not good. This is really not good. And unfortunately, he served his first term as president, but his second term, obviously, was cut short due to his assassination. Isn't that trippy?
Yeah. It is. What freaks me out, too, with the presidents is the pattern of how they die.
What do you mean?
Have you ever heard about that?
No. Tell me.
Yeah, let me get the exact explanation of what it is, okay? The Curse of Tippecanoe, okay? And it's literally, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's literally
I've heard that name before.
Tippecanoe. Yeah, so it's the 20-year curse or the zero curses or other names for it. But basically, it's an urban legend about the deaths in office of the president of the United States, that every 20 years that president dies.
Oh, while in office?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the claim is that it's a death curse that threatens U.S. presidents elected in years evenly divisible by 20. I am not doing that math, okay? But with two exceptions, since 1840, U.S. presidents who have been elected in years ending in 0 have been killed or have died of natural causes while in office. And one exception literally came within an inch of death. It's hard to know what to make of such a sequence, but folks have certainly tried over the years. Such a string of presidential mortality is deemed too improbable to have occurred naturally, giving rise to rumors about a fatal Indian death curse among those unwilling to recognize that chaos sometimes takes that form of coincidence. There's William Henry Harrison, who was elected in 1840 and then died in 68, exactly 1 month after his inauguration.
Ooh.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln, obviously assassinated. James A. Garfield, William McKinley, Warren G. Harding, Roosevelt, JFK, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan didn't count, but he had an assassination attempt. If I could just talk a little bit more with my teeth. Yes. So, anyways, what a sidetrack. Thank you, brain. Yeah, so the curse of the presidents. Anyways, Abe Lincoln. Sorry about you.
I know.
Bummer. Yeah.
His doppelganger was like, "Hey, babe, this gonna happen. Buckle up for
maybe
safety."
Ooh, I just got like no, I was just thinking, what if the doppelganger that Lincoln saw was like the curse? You know what I mean? Like whatever Native American they did wrong coming through. Well, whoever did something wrong I can't think of a single American president who ever did the Native Americans wrong.
Oof.
Yeah, so maybe it was like the curse coming through. That's what he saw.
It could have been. I also it made me think of Hill House when Nell sees herself.
Dude, fuck. That bent neck lady thing screwed me up so bad.
Yeah. Yep. And I feel like I've said this before, I have said this before. When Josh was at an A school and he saw two what are baby deers called? Fawns.
Oh, fawn. Oh, a doe is a female deer.
Yes.
Ray, a drop of golden sun.
Oh,
okay. Sorry.
What's the other one? Something, a name I call myself.
Me.
Ray.
No,
Me.
Brittany. Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself.
Dur. Anyways, Josh had seen, he was sitting down and he had witnessed two fawns prancing around right near him. They came within 2 feet of him. And I had said I wonder if that's the kids, because in my personal belief, the afterlife has no timeline. So the Nell thing makes sense. The Abe Lincoln seeing himself makes sense. So I thought, maybe that's the kids giving you a encouraging, like beautiful moment with nature. Like, hey, daddy, you're doing great, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of like, I can see that
Yeah.
side of it. Here I
It's
go, spinning
freaky.
a positive little fucking web.
I know. That's a good place to be. But not, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe not if you see your own doppelganger. Maybe you should be like looking around corners
Oh,
and stuff.
yo.
But
Ugh. If I
yeah,
saw
I would
myself,
not
I'd be
do
like,
well.
good night and goodbye. Good
Oh,
night and
what
goodbye.
the heck? It was so random. Me and the kids the other day were watching Freaky Friday. Okay. Sue Me. It's a fucking amazing soundtrack. That one song slaps so hard.
Oh,
And
for sure.
I love Freaky Friday. The Lindsay Lohan one, obviously. I've only seen the other one, like the really old one,
Yeah.
like once when I was like, hell no.
Mm.
Anyways, we were watching Freaky Friday, and in this particular scene, I thought I would just absolutely fucking die when she wakes up and realizes that she's in her daughter's body. And I had like never really processed that until this moment. And
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh my gosh, like what the heck?" And then she goes to wake her body up, and then Lindsay Lohan's character wakes up and she's like, "God, mom, what?" And she looks up and she sees her. And she's like, "Get away from me, you clone freak." So, like, anyways, as a child watching it, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's funny," because we know it's the mom. But
Right.
fucking imagine if you wake up. I feel like that moment should have been done up a little bit more. Howell agrees, clearly. He was watching it with me.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I would positively die. Just straight up, I'd go, bye. Lay down, grab a bouquet, and die.
Yeah. Good night.
Mm-mm.
Good night. I'm gone. Good night, cruel world.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. So this is going to be kind of like the perfect segue into your thing that creeped me out a
Yes.
few weeks ago. So here's a couple more references, but these are pop culture references. Kind of channeled Moira there.
Mm.
First and foremost, Vampire Diaries. I know you didn't watch it because you're a psycho clone freak.
Yeah.
But doppelgangers play a big role on that show. And it was kind of like the first time I'd ever heard that word. And I was like, what the? They're saying this goofy ass word. Like, okay. But it does play a role in that show. Another one that, if you've ever played games with me and you're listening to this, you're going to roll your eyes really, really hard, is One Night Werewolf, the
No,
game.
that game slaps.
Isn't it so fun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I know 3 people I can think of off the top of my head. And if you're listening, you know who you are, you little bitches, who always are like, oh, we got this
I don't
game.
want to play that. Yeah, I
Yes.
love that game. I actually saw, I don't remember exactly I never fully remember what I referenced, but I was like scrolling through Facebook and I saw they have a new type of game, but it's not it was like, oh, from the creators of One Night Werewolf, but it was so sick. And I wanted to tag you in it, but I knew everyone would talk so much shit.
I know. So, well, they have the One Night Werewolf, they have a vampire one, and a UFO one, which I was like, cool. But I want to know what else they got because that's fun when it's like a who done it and you get to just be like, nah, bitch, it's not me, and you like play and you see like how everybody else reacts. Basically, if you don't know what the heck we're talking about, it's a game where I wouldn't say it's role playing.
No, it's like murder mystery game,
Yeah,
literally. But
yeah,
it's with cards, not like Clue. And
yes.
it's like a heads up 7 up murder mystery. So you
There
know
you go.
exactly what you're going to be, but no one else knows what you're going to be. And then
Yeah.
everyone puts their head down, and then the phone will go, "Oh, it's midnight. Let the werewolves out." And if you have a werewolf card, then you sit up as quiet as you can and you look at the other werewolf, okay? And then you're like, "We're the werewolves, we know." And then you go back to sleep, and then it's like, "Oh,
everybody else like has little roles that they do.
yeah." There's
And the
like the
whole
seer, there's like the townsfolk, the drunk, like stuff
the
like that.
doppelganger.
Yeah. And then when the sun comes up, then you have to decide who you think the werewolf
The
was, who ate
werewolf
the
is.
person. So,
And
yes.
you're basically like, once the sun is up and everybody's like, okay, we've done our thing, then it's like time to discuss, and you have like 5 minutes to figure out who the werewolves are. But doppelganger is one of the cards, and I loved that card because you could, even if you weren't a werewolf, you could still be one if you had the doppelganger card and you like happened to look at somebody else's card who was a werewolf. There's an episode of Law and Order SVU where T.R. Knight, he plays George off of Grey's Anatomy, for reference, and the brother from Flight Attendant. That was such a good show. Um, and he, like, all of these horrific crimes are happening, and the whole time it's his twin. And
Oof.
the twin brother, the quote unquote good twin, is like being convicted for all of this stuff, and the quote like bad twin is the one who's actually doing all of the bad stuff and like planting the evidence and the DNA, because they're like identical twins, so they like share the same fingertips. They share the same fingerprints and like DNA and stuff like that.
I don't
So
think identical twins have the same fingerprints.
really?
Yeah, I don't think they do. I think everyone has their own individual fingerprints.
Maybe I'm making that part up. Anyway, he's framing his the good twin brother as the criminal while he's like getting away with all of this horrific stuff. So it made me think of that too, because I know it's like a very popular kind of like plot trope, is having like the evil twin. But those were kind of like my top three that I thought of, right? Especially that coined the term doppelganger, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just for me. But I thought this would be a perfect segue into your part of the episode.
My real life, well, I'll jump into, because I'm going to also talk about real life doppelgangers. Okay. But I will jump into my kind of pop culture reference, I guess you could consider it that, but it's not very popular. Or maybe it is. I don't know, because I don't even remember the name of it. That's how messed up I am. But okay, so you guys know, if you've listened to us a little bit, you may have heard me talk about little clips of shows that I see on Facebook Watch. I don't know what my compulsive disorder is to always go to Facebook Watch. It changes every 5 seconds. I'm not sponsored by Facebook, but I will say Facebook Watch has some weird shit on it. So, I was on there one day, like not that long ago, and I see like a YouTube short movie, right? And I love watching those because it's like an indie film. It's like we got to support our YouTubers, you know? So, not all of them, but people that are making like low budget films. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And at least I'm assuming it was something like that. Maybe it was a real thing, but it looked very much like low budget YouTube
Oh,
film. So,
bless her heart.
anyways, so I'm watching it, and it's like this happy woman. She's pregnant. She has her husband. They're in this beautiful house. It's all clean. You can tell they're very like shaw looking great, right? And they're about to go out somewhere. And the guy's like, "Oh, I'll go get the car started up," or whatever, you know? So then the chick's like, "Oh, okay, darling." And then he leaves, and she turns around and she sees her doppelganger. But her doppelganger is like like grungy, dirty, messy, doesn't look anything like I mean, looks exactly like her, but doesn't have the same
glow.
Yeah, nothing. And she's like, I want your life. And she like attacks her and kills her and is like going to impersonate her, right? And she's like, while she's like attacking her, she's like, he left me. Like, I lost my baby. Like, all this crazy stuff, right? And so you're like, where the hell did this bitch come from? And then another one shows up and like pulls her off or like kills her or whatever it was. I don't really remember. But you realize where she came from. So one of the rooms in their house is like, you know, in like Nintendo 64 Mario, where you jump through the picture in the wall and it's like.
Yes.
So it was like that. So that's like it's like and then but it looks like on the other side of the bleh is the other room, right? But it's really a portal into other dimensions. So it's all these different dimensions. And so it's still you, but just other dimensions, and they're able to come through this one room. Her other one is. And like that's not the first time that they've come through. It was just and so the bad one from the beginning that like killed her or whatever, like pushes the other one back through and like she's like, you're not getting out. Like this is my life now. Lock the door. Yeah.
But wasn't the pregnant one the one which on one hand like
I don't know. Like the pregnant one, I think I had told you like I think the pregnant one was also a doppelganger that came through. But now that I'm rethinking it, I don't even remember. That was I say it wasn't that long ago that I saw it. It was probably like a month ago, and this has been one hell of a month. So I don't remember exactly, but I know there was like some wild twists in there. And like this 10-minute low budget YouTube movie
it was enough. Like I'm not even
stay with
kidding
me
you
forever.
guys. It was enough that when Kayla told me like a few weeks ago I was visiting and helping her move, and she's telling me this, and then she's like, oh well, good night, and goes to sleep. And I'm literally sitting there like in the dark bedroom, like if I open my eyes right now and see myself, I'm a goner. Like they don't even have to kill me, I'll have a heart attack.
Literally, that's exactly what I would do. Just lay me down because I'm done.
Lay me down to sleep. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Freaky stuff. I wish I'll try and figure out what it was or where it came from. But the thing, if you are like me and you watch Facebook watch videos, as soon as it's like refreshes or you close the app and you come back, it's gone forever. Unless it's like
so crazy.
Yeah. Like the only ones that usually stay there are like the Law and Order SVU. Which like I love SVU, but like they play the same ones all the time. And it's like, I've already seen these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with, and this is such a tangent, with Facebook is they've changed so many things, like, I don't know, within the last year or so, that when I go on there, I'm like, I don't even know, like, what this is anymore, you know? Yeah. So I don't go on the Facebook watches, but, like, little clips like that would terrify me.
Well, that's where I also saw this other, like, low-budget film that really fucked me up, and I've seen it so many times, and then I saw it on TikTok, and I ended up like watching all the parts with the comments up because I couldn't, but I need to know what happened, but only if I can like scroll the comments down and then put flying back up, right? But I always see this fucking clip on Facebook Watch. And it'll be like, I'm about to fall asleep. I'm like, oh, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'm just going to scroll through Facebook. And okay, Howell, chill, dude. And then this fucking clip comes up. And it's a couple in the kitchen, like in a dining room. And the dude's friend or ex-friend dropped a package off for him.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Yes.
And the guy, every time they turn around, yes!
A little bit more. I fucking hate that one. That one messed me up. And like when I think about it,
leaves the chick there.
Yeah, bye. What is your fucking problem?
I know. That one, ew.
Yeah,
like
and
just
it's
the
stuck
eyeballs.
with me.
Fuck that.
Fucking killed that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Like it gets me mad because it freaks me out so bad. It makes me so fucking mad.
I was so afraid you were going to talk about that one. That one is like, and I was just talking about this recently. Horror these days, it's just too much. Like too much.
Yeah, I don't like that one. But I did end up finding out that motherfucker, not the box dude, the boyfriend dies. Did you ever watch the end of it? So, he's like,
it came for him, right?
Yeah.
The package was for him.
And the voice that you could hear that was saying it was the fucking dude in the box. It wasn't even the recording. It was the dude in the box tricking the guy to leave. And he fell for it. So when he calls his friend frantically driving, and he's like, "Why would you deliver me this fucking box?" And the guy was like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm in the car." And he's like, "Why did you leave it? Why did you leave it with the girlfriend? You were supposed to keep your eyes on it, right?" So then he gets back to the house and he hears the girlfriend's voice, right? So he's like looking all through the house, but where'd you guess it? It's the fucking dude, but it's a bunch of people. Yeah, and he dies.
So she dies too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's dead. I can't say for certain if they show the bodies because again, I was listening to it through the comments on TikTok. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. When it's something scary, I have the comments up.
Hey, that's kind of like doppelganger-esque. Because
it's kind of like fucking freaky. Yeah, it's an alternate universe.
And I wonder if the box is like all of those people that were in it, even
yes, that's it. They were all killed by the box.
Yeah. Oh.
I think so. Yeah.
Ew.
I think so. But no, maybe not. Honestly, I don't remember for sure, but that sounds familiar. I was reading comments too.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's like something scary or something like not so interesting that you have to watch, but interesting enough that you're not going to scroll away, but you want to know, but you want to get to it without having to slide your finger. And so you go to the comments to get all the info.
Absolutely. I mean, raise your hand if you've ever done that. Hi, how are you? Done it.
Yeah. You have to, people. But
exactly.
Yes. So Facebook Watch, I'm telling you guys, sometimes
it's a hairy place, apparently.
Dude, it's sketch town. But I do want to talk about some, I don't want to say facts, okay? But it's a study. Are your doppelgangers, like your real life doppelgangers, there's 7 trillion people in the world. So we all have, I don't know how many billion.
I think it's over 8 billion.
Whatever. There's like
trillion.
7 or 8 billion. Whoa! Trillions and trillions of dollars.
Population control.
Yeah, yikes. So there's like 7 or 8 billion people in the world. And so statistically, there should be at least 7 people that look exactly like you in the world. But when they say that, they don't look exactly like you because they can be a different race but still look like you, which also freaks me out about the AI stuff, those AI filters. You know, the one that we were like, not the astronaut one. Not the pay $15 a person one. I don't want to get into what we did for AI filters, but
seriously, the money we
lost. But like half of the people in the world, okay, did it too because they all had the same fucking AI picture as their whatever. But anyways, yeah, we're all embarrassing. I hope you know that. But it was like the TikTok AI filter where it like made me have brown eyes and brown hair, and I was like,
made me look super strange.
yeah, but I don't know, it's freaky stuff. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, the person, like your real life doppelganger, can have the exact same features of you as you, but still be a different like nationality, or obviously a nationality, but a different race too. So interesting. Also, just a little side note, not necessarily doppelganger, but something that freaked me out because I do think that doppelgangers are a different universe, like the evil ones or whatever. But if anyone listening remembers the show Chalk Zone, I think it was on, I don't even know what it was on, like Nickelodeon.
Was it on Nickelodeon, I thought.
It probably was. But that movie messed me up even to this day because it makes me think that and it goes into like that metaverse alternate universe where every single alternate universe, and there's this chick on TikTok, I'll talk about her too in a second. But Chalk Zone made me think that if you create it, it is now has a universe. So it's like when you think of The Sims or like your Tamagotchis or Neopets, stuff
or
like
Minecraft.
that. Yeah, or Minecraft. Like they're now living creatures. Free Guy, that movie Free Guy, it created it. It obviously became more self-aware and was able to do stuff. But then on TikTok, have you seen that chick that stole the gems from the two-dimensional creature? No. You haven't seen that? For sure, I sent that to you. But I'll like just explain it. So there's this chick on TikTok, and there's like a poster that she made, and she drew like a stick figure girl in it.
Oh,
and she's got the box with the gems inside. And then she opens the box and takes the gems out and then closes the box and then flips her hat backwards. So now in the two-dimensional alternate universe, like the two-dimensional girl is like, my gems are gone. Who flipped my hat? Yeah.
Which I don't understand that. Like my brain doesn't.
It's like if you like, for example, you set your phone down here and then you go to grab it and it's gone. And you're like, what the heck? And then you move it over there. Or it's over there. And you're like, when did I put it over there? Did you throw it over there? Or did someone in a 5D, are we 5D? Someone in an extra dimensional universe came into ours and moved it. And that's their way of communicating with you, which technically is what happens when spirit communicates to you, or like ghosts and stuff. They move something and you don't.
Ew.
Oh, I just like deeper.
You just made me think of and this is like definitely a topic we should go into, like multi-dimensions for an episode, but made me think of like my poor Sims when I was like, all I want is just a haunted house or like a graveyard. Mm-hmm. And I would lock them in a room with firecrackers.
Yeah. Well, and that's a thing on TikTok too. I mean, so many people did that, or like taking the ladders off of the pool.
Yes.
But then if you think about that, you created this thing and then like told, I don't know, and then locked it in a room. But there is this one funny TikTok creator. I will talk about TikTok forever. That's like pretending to be a Sim and looks out the window and he's like, oh, Jerry's going for a swim. Oh no, the ladder disappeared again. No, we have to stand there and freak out next to the pool. Oh!
That's so funny.
Freaking crazy.
Or they're like, I was having a conversation with the neighbor and they just started juggling.
Yeah. Or Joe just moved in next door and came in here and started making a grilled cheese sandwich in my kitchen.
Yes. Yeah. Did you guys play Sims? Because we certainly did.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. So if you also played Sims, I've also had thoughts before. Let's just like, Dear Diary, that what if we, and I know I've brought this up before in our alien episodes, but are we the Sims and the alien kids are playing us? Because, dude, they be playing me.
How many times, like, you walk into a room and you're like, why am I in here? Yeah.
There's something in the way of the fridge. I cannot open it. Yeah.
There's no bathroom here. Where can I go?
Oh, pee.
Ew.
Remember when they did that? And then you had to mop it up?
And be like, okay, now mop that shit up, you nasty.
Yeah. And then now you gotta go take a shower because you're... Yes. Anyways, let's not talk about The Sims.
Yeah.
Because now I'm gonna want to play it. But...
I know.
Anyways, so... Yeah, freaked me out. Another side note, another doppelganger created by the one who was doppelganged himself. I don't know if that's proper, but for sure it's not. But Doodle Bob.
Oh my gosh. Why didn't I think of that?
Literally created by
the
Almighty. But it takes on the evil persona, wanting to take over his life, get rid of SpongeBob.
Yes.
And then what did he have to do to get rid of it? He had to kill it.
Yeah.
So either way, it meant a bad omen or death for one of the doppelgangers.
That SpongeBob has a whole new meaning now.
Mm-hmm. And also, I was thinking about this earlier when you were talking about it. How do you know which one is the doppelganger?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I know.
Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Yeah, it's freaky.
Yeah.
How about that?
Because what if it
it goes back to that Facebook Watch indie film Doppelganger through the
mirror
thingy. Yeah, which one's the real one? Is there even a real one? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's jump into my real life stuff. So everyone has a doppelganger in real life. At least one, statistically speaking, you should have about 7 people in the world that look just like you. Will you ever run into them? I hope not. Look at me stuttering Stanley. I'm so bewildered. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Cindy Lou Who, Kayla Louise, Cindy Lou Who, Miley Cyrus.
No, just because I got big teeth doesn't mean I like them. But I also don't look like Taylor Momsen anymore just because the 2 children did. We don't look alike anymore. But I will say, I was going to say How I Met Your Mother did the doppelganger thing too.
Tell me.
How I Met Your Mother, the doppelgangers? Where they said that until they find all 5 doppelgangers, that's the sign they knew from the universe that it was time for Marshall and Lily to have a baby.
Oh,
yeah. And then they find Barney's doppelganger, but it's really, spoiler alert, but it's really him dressing up as the taxi driver to try to get chicks.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so they did doppelgangers too. Yeah. Anyways, a lot of doppelganger stuff, which is interesting that you said fucking Vampire Diaries was the first time you heard it, because I've heard it before.
Well, I mean, I've been watching that show, and I watch it like it's a comfort show for sure. For me, I love it. The Salvatore brothers, like whatever, Kayla, whatever.
I mean, I watched like the first season, but then
it's great.
I didn't say it wasn't.
I really liked it, but no, that's the one that like I had heard it. I don't know. I think it came out in like 2010. And I was like, what the heck does that word mean? And I hadn't watched How I Met Your Mother then either I waited like 3 years after that to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Crazy. Now that was from like an article or something that you saw, the everybody has a doppelganger thing,
Oh,
right?
that was like, I mean, I first heard that probably right after high school, maybe still in high school, so like 15 years ago, 12 years ago or whatever. I heard like statistically speaking, maybe it was college, but like statistically speaking, everyone has at least 7 people that look like them. And then that was like a joke on like Facebook where it's like they post that and then they're like, oh, that means that there's 7 guys that look like Ryan Reynolds or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that. But that's just something I've heard. I don't know if that's statistical facts.
Well, I know it has something to do with like the genomes, not necessarily, because obviously, well, I don't know. It's not like to like our parents, for instance. Their doppelgangers out in the world haven't linked up and had, so it's not like DNA, but it's like similar genomes or traits. Because if you think about it, we're all here on the earth together, there's a lot of us, but there are like specific genomes or traits that have been like passed on or repeated or.
Yeah. So I actually have a few articles from, this one's from CNN that I'm going to pull from. Kind of going into detail about, do you share DNA with these real life doppelgangers? You probably do, which is freaky. And I don't like the fact that they say DNA specifically because it is traits, whereas DNA is it's family, so that's a little different, but we'll get into it. So this article from CNN talks about these, well, it talks about a bunch of different like real life doppelgangers. They're just people that look incredibly similar. And I'll post pictures as well. But it's this for 2 friends. They've been friends for like their whole freaking lives and they look very much identical, except one of them is like of Scotland and Lithuanian descent, which is quite a mix. But then the other friend is from the Dominican Republic. So they are different races, but they still look identical. I mean, I'll put up a picture and you can see like, maybe not identical, but they definitely have a lot of the similar features, which is interesting. So they kind of talk and joke about how like they, have used it for good or evil, not like evil, but like, oh, they'll switch places, ha ha ha, kind of like what twins would do, that they get recognized as the other person all the time. Like they're like out of the grocery store and someone will come up and be like, oh, how you doing, Bob? And he's like, oh crap, I'm Joe. Oh, I'm good. How are you? Like stuff like that. Yeah. So, but they're friends and they think it's like funny. They get like a kick out of it that they look so similar. Okay. So there is a scientist that finds 32 doppelgangers. So 16 pairs of people that look identical, and decides that he's going to run like tests on them. I think originally it had started as like an art project because it's labeled art leads to science. But
I could see how that could.
So it's like they find all of these similar people and they're like, you know what? Let's figure out why they look so similar. Okay. So they take these 32 people who all look alike, and they were part of this photo project by a Canadian artist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And researchers find them and they're like, well, let's run your DNA. Are you guys down? So they asked the pairs to do a DNA test. The pairs filled out the questionnaires about their lives, and scientists also put their images through 3 different facial recognition programs. Of the people that they recruited, half of them had similar scores to identical twins identified using the same software. So this facial recognition, when it's used to get to see identical twins, it'll catch it this X as many times as it caught these just random people that just happen to look similar. Okay? Interesting. Which is crazy when it comes to so many things that are becoming facial recognition stuff too, you know?
Like how I can unlock your phone.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So the researchers then take a closer look at the participants' DNAs. The pairs of the recognition software that said they were similar had more genes in common than the other half that were not identical twins, per the facial recognition.
Oh.
So the top researcher says, and I quote, "We were able to see that these look-alike humans, in fact, they are sharing several genetic variants, and these are very common among them. So they share these genetic variants that are related in a way that they have the shape of the nose, the eye, the mouth, the lips, and even the bone structure. And this was the main conclusion that their genetics put them together." It's crazy. And other research has gone into doppelgangers, saying that not only will you have similar features, but you'll pick up similar habits.
What?
Yeah, like similar doppelgangers have been known to both be smokers or both lead like similar career lives. Okay? Or their eating habits.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
What the heck?
And creepy. So it's almost like, were we just like a file in like the God's universe? And he's like, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Oh, I'm going to put that one over there, that one over there, that one over there.
Weird.
Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah.
I mean, and it also makes you think like, I know how people say like, if you think of how small we are in compared to the universe, how small we are compared like with that kind of thinking of sharing traits and stuff, that it's not so diluted down that there would be, variance. That's cool.
It's weird. Yeah, I think it's weird. Yeah. Okay. Next, I want to talk about a really messed up story. So, trigger warning, kidnap, and murder. Okay? Craziness.
Oh.
Yeah. So, this happened in Germany, and it's a doppelganger thing. So, this like influencer she was like a fitness influencer, and she had all of these followers, and she supposedly was doing some kind of a giveaway type of thing where you could meet me if you sent in pictures and you looked like me. So she was outsourcing trying to find a lookalike, a doppelganger to her.
And what does the lore say? Do not try to...
Don't try to find them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gets one of her fans that looks very similar to her, wins the sweepstakes, so gets to go out and meet her. So then she goes missing. Okay? And they're like, don't know where she went. And they find the influencer's car. They open it, and the influencer is dead in the back of the car, like stabbed multiple times, including in the face, where it was like unrecognizable. Okay, so the influencer gone. So they notify the next of kin and still can't find the chick that was her lookalike. And they take that body and they take it for an autopsy. Upon DNA testing, they find out that no, it is not the influencer. It was the lookalike. Yeah, the influencer tried to fake her own death using a lookalike. Yeah. So got this lookalike to come out here and just battered her to hell and made her face unrecognizable.
Oh
because
my
they
gosh.
had similar body types, right? And they did look similar, but not similar enough to pass for her family. So they had to do that. Then they end up going to the lookalike's apartment and they find her, the influencer, with her boyfriend. Yeah. So this is all
With
like
her boyfriend or with the
with the
doppelgangers?
influencer's boyfriend.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
That's
she
sick.
craziness. And I will say that there is actually another one. So the whole doppelganger thing is freaky because a man just recently got released, spent 17 years in prison for a crime his doppelganger committed. Never even
Oh,
knew this man, had never met this man, didn't know who he was. But when you look at the mugshots, they look similar. I would not say that they're exactly the same, but if it's like a crime that happened at night, I know the details, like I've read the articles, but I don't know them by heart. But I know that that happened. He was awarded $1.1 million. But even 17 freaking years of your life in prison, I feel like should maybe
that's
earn a little bit more than 1.1 mil, but that's
yes.
insane. That's
That's
like my worst fear.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
Not a good time.
No.
So don't ever go looking for your lookalikes.
Mm-hmm.
Never. If you find your doppelganger, RIP, homies. No, it's
Yeah.
not always death. It can just mean a bad omen. And if you do find your doppelganger, sleep with one eye open. That's my recommendation. But definitely don't go
100%.
look for them because you don't know what the heck these people are doing.
Alrighty, you guys. So that concludes our doppelganger episode.
Woo.
Oh boy. Alrighty. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us ramble on. If you are watching us over on YouTube, hello. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for upcoming episodes and more fun. We are also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So don't forget to subscribe there. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at The Twisted Twins Podcast. Follow us on there, shoot us a message, leave us a comment, let us know what topics you want us to cover, anything like that. Say hello.
Yes, definitely do that. And as for tonight, have an amazing weekend. We hope that you guys take care and stay
Stay twisted.
twisted. Bye.
Bye.